All right, y'all. This is my top right hands of all time. First of all, I appreciate everybody clicking, tuning in. So you might as well go ahead and hit that subscribe button now. Go ahead and hit that like button as well and get on into them comments because I definitely appreciate the commentary, especially all the great feedback I've been getting from my other videos. Definitely appreciate that. Now to the list, it's all about the right hand, okay? So you're gonna see guys that hunted out the right hand, guys that got most of their wins and most of their knockouts via the right hand. Now the next thing on my criteria is going to be guys that was champions. Now this is an absolute must. And I understand that there was some great guys who wasn't champions and they have fantastic right hands, but this is not basketball and football, where your teammates can like hold you back. So it's not about stats. This is about wins and you being great in the moment. So again, if these guys did not win titles, they won't be on my list, and that's that. So please don't get in the comments telling me about all these great guys that had right hands but didn't do it when they needed to do it. Next thing is, you won't see anybody on this list that killed any women or anything along those lines. So, and that's just that. So don't even bring it up. Now, without further ado, we can go ahead on and get into this list. As always, I'm going to start with my honorable mentions. So, yeah, let's do it. Peace. Okay, first on my honorable mention list is Edward Rosario, aka El Chapo. Competed from 1979 to 1997. He won 2 world championships, one at lightweight and at super lightweight. Now, he was known for that dynamite right hand, okay? He actually won the belt 4 times in total, okay? Got voted into the International Boxing Hall of Fame in 2006. He started his career 21-0 with 20 straight knockouts. Ring Magazine got him number 36, top 100 punches of all time. All right, y'all, my next honorable mention is Julian the Hawk Jackson. He competed from 81 to 98, 3-time champion, 2 weight classes, regarded by many as one of the hardest punchers in boxing, okay? He had a KO to win ratio of 89%. Definitely enrolled it into the Hall of Fame. 55-6 with 49 knockouts, y'all. So definitely was a crazy puncher. Ranked 25 by Ring all time. And check out his fight with old Harold Graham to see one of the best right hands in history, man. So yeah, shout out to Julian Jackson. Now my next guy is definitely somebody I know a lot of y'all may not know about. That's old Randall Knockout King Bailey. Now trust me, this guy fought from 96 to 2016, was a world champion in 2 different weight classes, lightweight and welterweight, but check it out. He won his first 21 fights by knockout, including a knockout of Carlos Gonzalez when he won his first title. Actually picked up his second title 10 years later. But why he on this list, that guy had one of the most vicious, devastating right hands in the history of the sport, man. Definitely made it on the list as far as mines, and definitely on one of the hardest punches lists, considered to be that by many of the boxing aficionados. So yeah, look this guy up if you want to check his power, but he definitely deserves an honorable mention. Look at that. Just knock you dead kind of power with that right hand. So yeah, shouts to Randy Bailey, man. Now my next honorable mention is Wilfredo Bazooka Gomez. Now trust me, this guy was a monster. 3-time world champion, 44-3 with 42 knockouts. You know what I'm talking about? 17 consecutive KOs in championship fights as a featherweight, which is a record for any division. You see what I'm saying? He ranked 13th as the greatest punchers of all time, man, as a featherweight. See what I mean? Voted into the Boxing Hall of Fame. He had 32 straight knockouts at one time. So trust me, Wilfredo Gomez, without doubt, deserves to be an honorable mention. That right hand was electric. And really, there you go right there. I was about to tell you, his left hand was too. I could have had him on my left hook honorable mention. Like, seriously, look at that right hand. Just a monster. My next guy is Terrible Tim Witherspoon. He fought from 1979 to 2003, actually. 2-time heavyweight champion and one of the greatest overhand rights that you ever seen in your life. You hear me? Break your jaw on contact. That's the type of overhand he threw. He actually got the Terrible moniker from Muhammad Ali, believe it or not. And it was unfortunate the era he fought in because he was under that Don King era when, Don had everything on smash, so he really got shortchanged. I thought he could have been greater than he actually was. But yeah, definitely deserves an honorable mention for his overhand right. Definitely. But now it's time to get into that top five. So at number five, I got the Bronze Bomber, Deontay Wilder, man. And you know I'm not the biggest fan of this guy, but I gotta give credit where it's due. You're looking at a man with 43 wins and 42 of them by knockout. Now, why is that important? Because all he threw was the right hand. So that means that everybody knew it, couldn't do nothing about it for the most part. Plus, he was a 2008 bronze medalist. And by the way, he didn't start boxing until he was 20, so you gotta give him credit for that. And he had the highest KO percentage in heavyweight history. And all of them was the guy's right hand was just that good, and you got to give credit where credit is due. Now, at number four, I got none other than Iron Mike Tyson, man. Undisputed from 87 to 90, won his first 19 fights by knockout, 12 of them in the first round. Of course, you know he was the first undisputed champion and the first one to hunt him down one by one. I got Mike on my left hook video and my right hook, my right hand video. By far, he was the greatest fighter to me of his generation, and without distraction, he could have been the greatest fighter ever. So I gotta give that to Mike, man. Just watching him right here. Boom! Look at Mike, man. That's what I meant, man. He don't play around, boy. Definitely number four, at least all-time right hands. But at number three, I got Big George Foreman. Now here you're looking at two-time heavyweight champion. Had a record of 76-5 with 68 knockouts, you know. George is also a gold medalist. People forget he won that thing in 1968. Now, to me, George was probably the most feared heavyweight of all time. Even more feared to me than Sonny Liston, because that guy quit on the stool, and I got respect for him, but he quit on the stool. George is the most feared fighter to me of all time, and that right hand was knock you dead right hand. I'm talking about on contact. And so that's why I got George Foreman as number three, because I believe that he had the third greatest right hand of all time. And if he hit you with it, there was a good chance you was going down and you was going to stay down. So yeah, George to me, number three all time. All right, y'all, at number two, you got it, Joe Louis, the Brown Bomber. Now here you're probably looking at the greatest heavyweight of all time, all right? He had the longest single reign in the history of boxing. The guy was champ from 1937 to 1949. He had 25 title defenses. You hear me? 25. Now, why I got him number two for that right hand is because, to me, Joe Louis used a lot of anticipatory movements to throw his right hand. And for me, that had him way ahead of his time, because you're talking about a guy fighting in the 30s, 40s, and 50s. And that movement there, trust me, is definitely ahead of his time. And that's how he got the majority of his knockouts. He's 52 knockouts, okay? So by far, Joe Louis should be number two. I wouldn't be mad if somebody had him number one, actually, because when you think about it, Joe Louis is actually the author of it. You know, he really perfected the right hand and how to really get your body behind it and set a blueprint for everybody. So technically I could have him number one, but life is about evolution. And so I'm sure that Joe would want somebody to have taken his way of throwing the right hand a step further. And that's what my number one fighter for the right hand did. But yeah, by far, Joe Louis, number two all time right hand, and perhaps the greatest heavyweight in the history of boxing, and definitely one of the best champions. All right, y'all, at number one, you guessed it, Tommy the Hitman Hearns. Here you're looking at the first boxer to ever win world titles in 5 different weight classes. His Ring magazine ranked his power at number 18 all time. He had 48 knockouts and 61 wins. Now, why I got Tommy number one? I got Tommy number one for a few reasons. First of all, that leverage, that speed that he used to throw that right hand by far was the greatest of all time. And Tommy was able to carry his power up 5 different weight classes. So now you're talking about legitimate, authentic power. No steroids, no drugs like that. Just his height, being able to sustain the weight to keep propelling that power. And because it was legit power, he was able to knock guys out at 147 all the way up to 178. So by far, Tommy Hearns had the greatest right hand of all time and deserves to be number one on anybody's list. No way you can't not have Tommy number one. So yeah, that's my guy for the right hand. I hope everybody enjoyed the video. Definitely want to hear what you guys think, so get in them comments. Appreciate everybody. Peace.